Hey, crypto family. So, what has been going on with Bitcoin and Tether? For those of you who know, yesterday Bitcoin had a crazy rally. You can see there's a 4-hour chart here, and Bitcoin rallied to a high of 6,800 on exchanges such as Coinbase and BitMEX. But actually, if you go to Bitfinex, Bitcoin went to a high of over 7,700. So you can see here, this is a 4-hour chart in BitMEX, and you can see high of 77.88. So I'm gonna explain a couple reasons why and exactly what happened with Bitcoin and why we had this meteoric rise and why now we're finally retracing and coming back down to earth. So first, going over why exactly this happened. Well, first, let's go ahead and look at a couple things kind of building up to it, and then I'll go what I think happened with this. So this was a tweet by this guy. His name is Big Chonis on Twitter, and he has a lot of good analysis. I really like a lot of stuff he does, and he posts some good information. And one of the things he posted was this transaction for Tether, USDT, and it was in the amount of $200 million. And everyone knows whenever Tether is being transferred large amounts, then some big move's about to happen. There's a lot of speculation, that Bitfinex deals with Tether a lot, and, they're part of the big manipulation that goes on. And basically, he was predicting here October 14th that something was going to happen. Now, another thing that I noticed on this same day was Kucoin, a popular exchange, on their Twitter, actually 2 hours before this pump happened, they temporarily closed Tether deposits and withdrawals. Now, I have mobile updates for them, and when I saw this, I really didn't know what to think, because really, I can't even remember the last time they did this, if at all. And for them to close Tether deposits and withdrawals, that kind of tells you, something fishy is going on, and maybe be careful, something may happen soon. So I probably should have paid a little bit closer attention to that. But again, those two things, and then just a couple hours later, I see, Bitcoin spike up in price. Now, one of the big things that happens is, for example, say someone has a lot of Tether, so they're transferring a lot of Tether, then that tells you they're getting ready, most likely, to buy a lot of Bitcoin or altcoins, and that's exactly what happened. So if you can imagine, some of that $200 million worth of Tether being used to manipulate Bitcoin's price and basically pump it up. Well, to do that, they had to sell Tether. So in essence, so use that Tether to buy Bitcoin. So all that Tether needed to be replaced. Well, as we've seen right here, Tether right now is at 97.4 cents. It's not at $1. Okay, usually it's at $1 plus or minus 1 cent. It's known as the stable coin, and what everyone uses when they just want a safe haven for their money. Well, you can see here on the 1-day chart that Tether actually went to a low, and I'll actually go on the 7-day chart so you can see fully. But it actually went to a low here of 91 cents. So if you look here on CoinMarketCap, you can see it went right to a low of about, it says about 92 cents here, but I've seen other exchanges as low as actually 85 cents. So this dip in Tether is unprecedented. The last time we saw a dip like that was in April, and it didn't even dip that low. It went to about 97 cents. So you can see that this dip is huge, and it's one of the reasons why, there's a lot of manipulation in the market, and one of the reasons why you need to be careful. And I mean, this caught a lot of people by surprise, and there's a lot of talk if, Tether is really the stable coin anymore, if it's going to zero. I mean, a lot of talk about that right now, and kind of, what is the future for Tether? So, they say they have, they're backed. Every USDT is backed by actual US dollar, actual fiat currency, but some people are starting to question that now. So I think this was a ton of manipulation going on. There were huge premiums between Bitfinex and BitMEX, and, premiums in excess of $400. And that has to tell you something. That's to tell you, there's a lot of manipulation going on, and, exactly, don't jump on board. Don't get FOMO if you see Bitcoin rising $1,000, just look at all the angles and see exactly what's going on, because, I did not buy off on this at all, and you can see how much it retraced from that pump. So something tells me we may have some more room to the downside here. I want to zoom out here and actually provide some resistance here. So I recommend looking at the Coinbase or the BitMEX Bitcoin price, because these are not inflated by Tether. So if you look at Bitfinex, other exchanges, you'll see that they're at $6,800, $6,900 price, because they're compensating for the decreased price in Tether. So if Tether's 7% down, then Bitcoin's price is 7% higher, and vice versa. This just makes it zero-sum game here if you look at Coinbase or Bitfinex. But basically, you can see that on these charts, Bitcoin stopped at about $6,800. And you can see I've circled 3 times over the past month where Bitcoin has stopped, and it stopped about that $6,800 level. So this is a level to keep in mind whenever we're deciding if, Bitcoin is going to be bullish or if we're still towards the bearish downside. Now, again, I want to mention this descending triangle that's been happening over the past couple of months. Now, this thing, again, is coming to an apex. It's starting to break out here again. But again, if we're going to see if it can close above it. So, and it needs to have a strong close. It can't just barely close above it. So that's one of the things with, these breakouts, is they need to have a strong close above. So unless, we're breaking out from 6,800 here, then I do see us having some more consolidation here and potentially, coming back down to retest the $6,100 support and even that $6,000 support that a lot of people are looking at. So just something to keep in mind there. But again, this Tether controversy was really crazy. It was one of the biggest candles. I was actually up whenever this happened, and I could not believe it. But again, that just goes to show you can never be too careful. And if you're setting your stops, I mean, it's really tempting to not set stops when you have moves like this. Or if you're trading on BitMEX, always trade with low leverage, 5x, 10x max, because these swings can liquidate you very fast. So just something to keep in mind. But again, I think it was just, there's a lot of Tether that was being sent. And I think it was just, a lot of big whales that are trying to manipulate these prices. And who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But, this kind of opens up everyone's eyes to maybe Tether isn't as safe as everyone thinks. Maybe start looking at other coins to, hold your money in. So again, not financial advice, but just my opinion. Now, I want to go over a couple of articles here. This one by Crypto Coin News says, crypto market stabilizes as Tether recovers, real Bitcoin price at $64.50. So just like I was mentioning. And basically it talks about, the premiums and how Tether fell as much as 7%. And then how right now we're kind of holding where we're at. And again, it mentions the $6,000 region, where Bitcoin is still staying at until we can have a confirmed breakout over 6,800 or below 6,000, one way or the other. Now, it mentions also, it says, Fidelity, the world's largest brokerage by asset under management, has announced its plans to facilitate crypto plans, which could serve as a catalyst to fuel the next rally of the crypto market by bringing in accredited investors in regulated U.S. markets. Now, Fidelity has been talking about cryptocurrencies for a while now. Ever since the middle of last year, they were talking about, their clients being able to track Bitcoin's price on their websites. And they've just been looking at ways to get integrated more with cryptocurrencies. And it says here, Fidelity just made it easier for hedge funds and other pros to invest in cryptocurrencies. It says Fidelity Investments, which administers more than $7.2 trillion in client assets, announced a new and separate company called Fidelity Digital Asset Services on Monday. The firm will handle custody for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and will execute trades on multiple exchanges for investors such as hedge funds and family offices. Now, this is really big news, because basically this is a huge market that's untapped, okay? The Wall Street side is now getting involved. So, we've heard of Goldman Sachs, we've heard of, all these different companies, these banks trying to get involved, but Fidelity is actually hitting it head on and actually providing that custody solution that other Wall Street banks aren't providing. So I think this is going to expose a lot of people to Bitcoin, a lot of people to cryptocurrencies, and it's just going to overall help more cash flow come into the market. It says Tom Jessup, head of Fidelity Digital Assets, said the idea of commercializing a standalone crypto company began in the middle of last year. For now, its services are available to institutions such as hedge funds, endowments, and family offices, but not to the retail investor. So again, they're trying to feel this out. They're trying to get this to the people who, really want the custody solutions, and they know that they're going to invest a lot of money into cryptocurrencies. They're trying to get them first. And then as it expands, expanding that to retail traders. Now, it also says here that they're also focused on cybersecurity, which is something I love. So people who don't know, they've actually had a long history of dealing with enterprise security, as well as public and private key cryptography. So they'll offer cold storage, which is what you need if you're dealing with, this amount of money in cryptocurrencies. And it says that involves taking the cryptocurrency offline in multi-level physical and cyber controls, among other security protocols that have been created, leveraging Fidelity's security principles from other parts of the business. So again, they're making sure cybersecurity is a top focus because of how many hacks have been going on. And I mean, they're not new to this. They deal with billions and billions of dollars every day, and they want, security is a top priority. So they're making sure that when transitioning over to cryptocurrencies, that it's a seamless transition and that their clients have a great experience. So this is really great. And right now, Fidelity is looking, to expand further, and they're interested to stay up on developments in the space in a significant way. And they're really trying to, be at the forefront of cryptocurrencies and this adoption. So I thought this was really great. And, I'm so glad that Fidelity's getting on board. They're really popular with not only, financial instruments such as stocks, mutual funds, and bonds, but also 401ks, retirement funds, IRAs. So, this is someone that has a lot of access to different financial instruments and someone that can make a huge dent in the cryptocurrency market. So I definitely look forward to see what they have to come, and, wish them all the best. So if y'all like this video, please give it a like, comment if you can, and please subscribe if you haven't, and set notifications. Till next time, thanks for watching.